Viewers, when it comes to the national interest, there's no mincing words. That man on your screen, to the left of your screen, viewers, US President Donald Trump is making the elements of an anti-Modi ecosystem very, very nervous here in India. This ecosystem has made a career out of sanctimoniously claiming that they speak truth to power, that they are the guardians of democracy, free speech, tolerance in this country. But Donald Trump thinks otherwise, viewers. He thinks that this Indian ecosystem is anything but honest to these professed values or principles. Trump alleges that this ecosystem here in India was paid, quote, kickbacks, unquote, was funded to run a disinformation campaign against Modi to sway the Indian voter to pick, quote, someone else, unquote, to lead the country in the Lok Sabha elections. Viewers, the trouble is that Trump is just not letting up on these allegations. Not a day has gone by this week when he has been not referring to inexplicable reasons why the Biden administration and its ecosystem was spending money through USAID to India to boost voter turnout and influence electoral outcomes. Trump has described USAID as an organization run by, quote, a bunch of radical lunatics, unquote. That he was, quote, getting them out, unquote. One of his closest allies, Elon Musk, has called USAID, quote, a criminal organization alleging its involvement in, quote, rogue CIA work, unquote. Now, viewers, sitting in India, we don't know any better. We can't tell USAID from the next arm of the US administration. But someone within the system, someone leading the system, would have a clearer idea. And one assumes that Trump knows what he's talking about, at least for his sake and the sake of the American people. But viewers, be that as it may, Trump began hinting at USAID link through funding regime change in India on February 19th, and he has continued till today. Viewers, on the 19th, 20th, and the 21st, and we've got a graphic for you which puts it out in a 3-window split graphic, viewers. His assertions on one day, his assertion on the next, assertion on the third, for you to compare. Listen in first.
Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. And $21 million for voter turnout in India. Why are we caring about India turnout? We got enough problems. We want our own turnout, don't we? Can you imagine all that money going to India? It's a kickback scheme. You know, it's not like they get it and they spend. They kick it back to the people that send it, I would say, in many cases. Many of these cases, anytime you have no idea what we're talking about, that means there's a kickback, because nobody has any idea what's going on.
Viewers, the government has begun an investigation into the money trail. This is what the MEA said today. And this money trail that they are tracking is from USAID into India. Government sources have put out, in fact, viewers, this flow chart, fund flow chart, as they call it, influence flow chart, as they call it, to manipulate Indian elections. And you can see how various pieces of the jigsaw, according to the government, fit to try and influence Indian voters to affect what Donald Trump says is regime change. Highly placed sources have told your channel that over $3,000 million has made its way into India through a network of organizations, and you can see that flow chart, since 2015, and distributed among certain beneficiaries. Now, viewers, in addition to this, the BJP has also released a payoff list. And now let me acquaint you with the pointers there. The government says USAID funding, and they say it through their sources to us viewers. And soon, they have vowed to put this information with an official stamp in the public domain. So in the interim, viewers, let me read off this information to you. The government claims through its sources that USAID funding has been linked to influencing political outcomes, particularly during election years. Now, there are some startling figures. Under the UPA between 2004 and 2013, the Indian government, the UPA that is, received $204.28 million. $1 million, viewers. Just do the math on that in crores. While NGOs received 10 times more, $2,114.96 million. Now look what happens, viewers. Under the NDA from 2014 to 2024, that's NDA 1 and NDA 2, corresponding period with UPA, viewers, government funding by USAID to the Indian government dropped to just $1 million. So viewers, from a high in the UPA era, or from a total amount during the UPA years, from 204 it comes down to $1 million. $204 million to $1 million. Modi clearly didn't need USAID money to run various schemes in this country. Why was the UPA so hypothecated, so needy, viewers? It's a question that must be asked. But what, viewers, will surprise you and astound you is while during the UPA years, NGOs got $2,114.96 million. During the NDA years, that amount increased by about $430 million. 400, compute that number, viewers. Democracy, human rights and governance funding spiked in 2022, coinciding with Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra. That's what government sources are telling us. Now, viewers, does India need money to further democracy, human rights and governance? Are we some banana republic, viewers? We are the world's biggest democracy. It's astounding. USAID stopped funding the government of India after 2015. So that $1 million came just for 1 year. Why, viewers, was it funding to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars? It's the UPA government. And why did Modi say thank you, but no thank you? Keep your money to yourself. Spend it on American taxpayers. But top NGO recipients linked to USAID, viewers, in India continue to receive funds. As I told you, $400 million more than even the UPA years. So the Americans didn't think that let's spend this money that we save because the Indian government doesn't want it and spend it at home. They said, no, let's actually give it to some of these NGOs that we run here. So who got it? Catholic Relief Services, they got 218 million. Care International, that got 208 million. OCCRP received $47 million, viewers. And between all of them, the government claims, published reports that spread disinformation against the Modi government. So they talked about caste in India, and you know that informed so much of the India Alliance's campaign, viewers. They talked about several other issues. Internews trained Indian journalists in USAID-backed programs to influence media narratives. That's what government sources. And some of these influencers and some of these great journalists who do independent work, viewers, receive this money. Now, money always comes, viewers, with strings attached, especially when it comes from unknown, unaudited sources. Remember that. No one's doing anyone a favor. The India bloc has responded by citing a newspaper article that conveniently appeared today to suggest that Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. The newspaper claims that $21 million that Trump has referred to was actually sent to Bangladesh and not India. This is what the newspaper is claiming. Viewers, first of all, if you look at the Dodge document that the DOGE, the department, viewers, that has been newly created to look at all of this skullduggery and this expense by so-called radicals, as Trump calls them, viewers, that document doesn't even talk about $21 million for Bangladesh. It talks about $29 million for Bangladesh. So how has this number been correlated? One doesn't know. But the BJP has questioned the integrity of the reportage, saying that the newspaper in question hasn't revealed that it is a recipient of funds from George Soros. And the author of the report was part of the Soros-funded OCCRP that did great investigative work on Pegasus and Adani and all of these people, viewers. The BJP says this constitutes a major undisclosed conflict of interest, as Soros is also a funder of USAID-linked programs. Interestingly, the BJP has also pointed out that the 21 million that Trump referred to was to be sent to India. It wasn't as if it was to be sent. It was marked out for this year. And that the Dodge Department list clearly reveals that the money was yet to be sent. And it was a preemptive action. They said, why should this money be sent? And they decided to scrap it. So at a very basic level, it appears that the newspaper has mixed things up. And this has become grist, viewers, for the opposition to try and suggest that Trump is lying through his teeth. Let's open this up, viewers, because all of this raises some important questions, and we should have a free and fair and open and constructive debate tonight without anyone trying to impede the truth. And I want to begin first and foremost with Professor Muni. Professor Muni, one gets the sense, and I'm not saying this, but Trump is, with his continued effort at underlining the point that there is some truth to all of this. A quick response from you, because I want to then bring in Mahesh Jethmalani. But first, let's listen to you, because you have a view which is opposing Trump, opposing the BJP. So can we hear that?
You know, Rahulji, we have seen so many stories break in Indian media. But the most ridiculous story that has broken recently, with the Trump speaking that it was $21 million was sent to India to destabilize the government. It's so ridiculous. With the newspaper article publishing all the facts in line where Trump says that $21 million was for India, but it now shows that $21 million was for Bangladesh with federal award identification number. And I want to read that 720388221
right.
A00001. So the numbers don't lie.
Oh, numbers don't lie.
Trump says that it was getting somebody elected. This money was used, but 13.4 million was used of this particular money in Bangladesh. Chalo, hum maan lete hain ki na ki Trump was right. And all these facts are wrong. But just imagine how much is $21 million. It's 180 crore. And you know, and I knew during Lok Sabha elections, 1100 crore plus gold was caught by the CEC as black money. मतलब जो legit black money caught किया जाता है, वो 1100 करोड़ रहता है और 180 करोड़ में Trump चाहते हैं.
I think you've kind of I think you're also. I don't think you've read the fine print, Professor Muni. Now let me just put some facts. Just listen to me. Okay, then allow me 30 seconds. After that, you can contradict me as much as you want. Now, viewers, can I make a small point, Rahul? Just 1 second, RP bhai. Please give me 30 seconds, please, on this. Very important, viewers. You see, this is the tweet in which $21 million sent to India was mentioned. And if the camera can focus closely on this, this is the DOG, Department of, and let me just click on it, viewers, Department of Government Efficiency. This is the one. And viewers, 5 days ago, they put out this tweet. And I don't know if people have seen this tweet very carefully. Because if you really get it, viewers. And this is important. This is very, very important because this tweet clearly mentions that the US taxpayer dollars were going to be spent. Here it is, viewers. Going to be spent on the following items, all which have been cancelled. And which is one of these items, viewers? If you scroll down the list, you will see this number that he is referring to, viewers. And it says here very clearly $21 million for voter turnout in India. $21 million for voter turnout in India. It was going to be spent. So the Indian Express is pulling out figures that says this money has been spent. And it has been spent on Bangladesh. Now, viewers, I think somebody either has lost their mind or is so blinded and blindsided by the desperate attempt to prove something wrong that they will try, and obviously fake news. I don't know. But viewers, you look at this. This is the Department of the DOGE, government expenditure. This has just been created by Trump to look at facile expenditure and cut them. What does this say? US taxpayer dollars were going to be spent on the following items, all of which have been cancelled. So this was a preemptive strike. But these, sorry to say, viewers, ecosystem types don't read. They seem to be not educated. They seem to not want to accept facts. Or, viewers, they want to create some amount of confusion so that they can get face savers. This clearly says, viewers, this is the $21 million that the Indian Express is referring to. And there has only been one reference by Trump to this money. So I don't know what is being talked about here, because it was to be spent. Why are we giving $21 million to India, Trump said. And he's referring to this preemptive action, which was then cancelled. He's wondering, why was $21 million marked out to be giving to India? Now, let me, just 1 second, let me bring in Mr. Jethmalani here. 1 second, sir, we've heard you. Please, sir, you're not looking very, how should I put it? Very intelligent on the show tonight. Please. I mean, please read the fine print. It's in simple English. But let's for a side. I just want to bring in Mr. Jethmalani. Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani is here with us. Now, he is a criminal lawyer and he understands the law. Now, I want to ask a basic question. Is it a crime? And I'm going to play devil's advocate. Is it a crime to receive funds from a foreign entity, let's say a media organization, independent YouTuber, e-platform, for whatever content you may choose to put out within the ambit of the law? How do you see this?
Well, if you're using foreign funds, right, for a media outlet, then you have to be registered under the FCRA, right? And normally speaking, the media outlets are not allowed under the FCRA, nor are political parties or persons of that nature who are creating public opinion allowed to use money with coming from foreign sources. The Foreign Contribution Regulation Act completely prohibits that, right? And you have to be registered in certain cases. So that's a no-no legally. But in the instant case, the money went to USAID, which is an instrument of the US embassy. So the diplomatic institution in that particular country. And it's all right if the purposes were charitable, for instance, education, poverty reduction, and so on and so forth, right? But when it gets a political slant, and the problem here about why it may have escaped the attention, if it did, I'm not saying it did. Maybe they were monitoring it. I mean, Prime Minister Modi has given an interview, I think, before or just after the elections, if I recall, where he actually said that there was a serious foreign attempt to influence the elections in 2024, the Lok Sabha elections. He actually gave it. So he may have had an inkling from the intelligence agencies, may have been his own gut feeling, I don't know. But he has made that statement.
Okay, now viewers, just look at the screen on the right. There's some graphs that we've put out, and I think Mr. Jethmalani can also see them. They're right there. Viewers, the money increases dramatically. So we've settled the $21 million question. It wasn't paid out. It was earmarked. It had been given to USAID to distribute, but hadn't been dispersed. Now, Mr. Jethmalani, how do you investigate the cash flow? There's a hell of a lot of other money. And you can see those numbers that fine, Modi government decided not to take USAID money or money from other institutions linked to USAID. You can see the differential there. $1 million they took in 2014. After that, they said, thank you, we don't want more. Keep your charity to yourselves. The UPA took $204 million. The USAID in the UPA era was giving various NGOs in this country upwards of $2,000 million. That's a hell of a lot of money, viewers. And then it increases it under the NDA era to $2,579 million. Now, how do you investigate the cash flow? Does the Indian government have to do this in consonance with the US government? Can it do it on its own? Would it be seen as undue interference anytime anyone goes with a query to any media organization or anyone who purports to be fighting for rights, etc., etc.? It says this is a witch hunt. We're being shut down, assault on free speech. We saw it even with the BBC, Mr. Jethmalani. So how does this happen?
Well, no, not necessarily, because the money has come into USAID's account. Nobody could have known that there was a heading under which it was appropriated,
right,
called voter turnout, right? That would probably be reflected in the accounts of USAID back home, which DOGE examined, audited, and then found out. That's how it was titled in their books there, the USAID's books there, which then Musk and then on his basis, President Trump has made all these disclosures.
Yeah.
So the thing to do is, now that we have a regime that treats us as a genuine ally and not a Biden-like administration, which treats a quad military alliance ally, right, in a two-faced manner, by not, giving aid to any, whichever government is there for charitable purposes is fine. But when you are trying to influence regime change through voter turnout, then you are trying to influence outcomes, which means you're trying to get your money is going to bring in people who will be more subservient and pliant to you. And that is completely, taboo. That puts it beyond political decency and political good relations, especially to an ally. So, by the very fact that there's an allocation of this extent, and that is admitted, there is an allocation. Now, what we have to find out, Rahul, is did that allegation lead to a dispersal? Was that $21 million, in other words, actually disbursed? Right? Nobody can be sure about that. Right? Well, so that's the first question we have to ask the Trump administration now. Now that they are in a mood to reveal all, we must try and get that in. And then, to whom was it dispersed? For USAID here, the head of mission, we all know who she is, right? I don't want to take any names now because taking a name itself means that you're accusing her.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the head of the mission is the person who controls the funds in tandem with the US ambassador and ultimately control. This is the procedure of USAID, right? Head of mission in tandem with US ambassador, and ultimately foreign policy objectives are determined by the Secretary of State, which would be Anthony Blinken in this case.
Yes.
That's the procedure. Now, so first question is, was it disbursed? Did these people who normally should have dispersed it or authorized its dispersal, were they the people who were responsible for its dispersal, and did they actually disperse it? And finally, who were the Indian agents, right, who played fifth columnists and actually used that money to influence outcomes in their own favor, on the favor of people whom their bosses in America and in USAID wanted them to influence?
Well, thank you, Mr. Jethmalani, for putting this into perspective. Of course, you would note that this money seems to have not been dispersed, as the DOGE itself sort of has suggested. But thank you very much for spending time with us. Now, the fact is, viewers, it's not about $21 million now. This is a larger question. So, Akashdeep Muni, quickly respond. I want to bring in the BJP. I want to bring in Ishkaran Bhandari. I want to bring in Mr. Gawande. Yes, you were making a point. Go ahead.
I'll take only 30 seconds
Please.
to respond. Now, Rahulji, you said that this money was intended. It did not come. It was going to come. So it was
I didn't
stopped.
say this. The Doge has said it, sir. I'm only a Sutradhar, my dear friend.
You reported it.
No, I'm not reporting it. I'm putting it out there because Doge has put it out there.
Let me go ahead now. As per Amit Malviya ji, a leader of Bharatiya Janata Party, tweet today, he says that the newspaper story discusses $21 million in funding to Bangladesh in 2022. What the story conveniently sidesteps, and I'm quoting, is the 2012 Memorandum of Understanding between Election Commission of India and IFES, an organization.
I don't know what you're saying, so it's confusing me.
What I want to say, no, let me come 15 seconds more.
Yeah.
He's saying that it was in 2012 through George Soros, the money did come to India.
No, he's not. You're confusing two issues, sir. Please. You're confusing a memorandum. Let me bring in RP Singh. RP Singh, can you please explain to the Professor Muni, that he's got it completely wrong?
I totally don't understand.
You are not understanding. So maybe you can ask the RP Singh, the party that is making. They'll clarify.
2014 is ignored in your reports.
Arey sir, this is 1 minute. There are different levels, viewers, through which the money came. We are not talking about the $21 million because it was not dispersed. I don't know from where Indian Express has picked this up, that it was dispersed and it was sent to Bangladesh. 1 second. Muniji, 1 minute to wait karo. 1 minute to wait karo, sir. Please, just wait 30 seconds. Hold your breath, sir. Just keep your ears open. It's good sometimes to hear the other side. Look, what has happened, viewers, is this. That Trump makes an announcement to say $21 million, why did it come, why was it being sent? He is making a statement of a fact, not using his tenses right. All he's saying is, why do we have to pay $21 million? There. 21 million for voter turnout in India? I can't understand it, he's saying. He's citing the Dodge report. The Dodge report, RP Singh says, that this money is being still not dispersed, but it is on the way of being dispersed, and we have preemptorily decided to stop it. On the back of which Trump is asking, but why were we considering it? Am I right, RP Singh? Am I wrong? Professor Muni, I hope you understand. And the Amit Malviya tweet is about another MOU that was signed in 2012 with the election commissioner, saying that you also took other money. I have already shown you in the UPA era. Please, sir, please, now listen to me. In the UPA era, the government has put out some numbers. Let's put the graph back on. And it suggests that $200 million was given to the government, the UPA government. And 2,114 was given to NGOs in the UPA era. Some of that money, the BJP alleges, was given to the election commission. The election commissioner of that time, Mr. Qureshi, has come out and said this was an MOU which did not involve transfer of money. It only involved the transfer of what is known as know-how, not money. Now that is an area that the BJP and the election commissioner, the former one, can figure out for themselves. They're very two different conversations. So RP Singh, how do you respond to Akashdeep Muni, who continues to talk about $21 million? This whole thing is a fake because it went to Bangladesh. I don't know from where it's come, but anyhow. Yes, go ahead.
Rahul, good evening. Problem with Akashdeep Muni today is that he is not able to pick up comma, semicolons and full stops. I'll read out from my friend Amit Malviya's tweet. He categorically states, Election Commission of India under the leadership of Y.A.S.Y. Qureshi and International Foundation for Electoral Systems, IFES, comma, I repeat, an organization linked to Soros Open Societies Foundation. It's not that saying that this money came to Election Commission, but it's saying that that society is, that foundation has a link to Soros organization, Open Society Foundation, which is primarily funded by USAID. Akashdeep ji, कॉमा फुल स्टॉप तो पढ़ना शुरू करिए ना, एक रट्टे में पढ़े जाएंगे तो यही दिक्कत होगी।
थोड़ा दीप जला लीजिए, लाइट द लैंप,
सर आकाश,
लाइट द लैंप ऑफ एक्विटी।
आकाश जी मैंने टोका,
पैसे आए थे कि नहीं आए थे? आप सरकार में हो, आप बता दो पैसे आए थे कि नहीं आए थे? आज भी
सर
बिल्कुल
बता, अभी बताता हूँ सर, अभी बताता हूँ सर, अभी बता
रहा हूँ मुनि जी, लेट हिम रिस्पॉन्ड प्लीज।
मुनी साहब मैंने सुना, आपको बड़ी तसल्ली सुना, आपको 3 बार मौका दिया, मैं तो अभी शुरू हुआ हूँ। अच्छा, पैसे की बात करते हैं, अभी बताता हूँ। एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है डेमोक्रेसी, ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड गवर्नेंस, द फंडिंग टू दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन spiked in 2022 parallel to the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Now this has to be investigated, that how come, and then they still have to file their returns. I mean the Congress party still has to file their returns for 80 crore rupees spent. I mean, I've been told, I mean, I'm not very sure, but on the social media is that it was almost 80 crore rupees spent on the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is on probably on record. Probably there could be more or less, we don't know. But fact is, there are a lot of things which still need to be investigated. Even MEA is saying, the government of India is saying that we need to investigate, we need to seek reports from the US also, that whom, for what objectives this 2,580 million,
yes,
1800 से भी ज़्यादा करोड़ लगभग, sorry, it will be more than that probably. It will be more than 2,000 crore rupees, 2,200 crore rupees, if I rightly calculated it, which was being spent in India during UPA regime, and then how this money and where this money was spent,
and where this has gone. So this is a matter of investigation, you're saying, RP Singh, and the MEA has clarified today in a press conference.
And also that,
yes,
and also that we stopped it. We said we don't need any money from
you don't need. The government has made it clear. You took $1 million in 2014 and you said thank you very much. After that, you haven't taken money. At least that's the official version being put out now by the BJP
and one more point. Just one more point.
Make your point. I want to bring in Ishkan Bhandari after that and Anish Kawande. Yes.
Yeah, just very small point. And then parallel to this, Mr. Rahul Gandhi was traveling abroad and seeking help, intervention, not help, intervention from the foreign countries, European and American countries, saying that democracy in India is in danger. So come and please help. We don't know what sort of help
he was also meeting legislators like Ilhan Omar, viewers, that actually go to POK and say POK belongs to Pakistan and so forth. So I don't know why that was happening. It raised eyebrows back then. They're also the extreme left of the Democratic Party, also people who are very close to all these principles like Soros, etc., who many people say in the BJP are up to no good in India. Ishkan Bhandari, what are the questions that this entire now sordid episode raises, especially with Trump continually coming out and underlining the points that he is making? Remember, viewers, none of this is done by any of us. This is Trump and his organization. Yes, Ishkan Bhandari.
Rahul, let's simplify the things. There are two aspects to this. One is USAID, the other is foreign money coming via various agencies to NGOs. Now, an NGO is supposed to be a non-governmental organization. But if for running you need government money, that too foreign government money, then you are nothing but an arm of that foreign government. Because whosoever pays for the DJ decide what music that DJ will play. That is what NGOs in India are doing. So you please go back to what BJP did by changing the FCRA rules on the NGOs. Of course, they had certain information. That's why those rules were changed and the entire ecosystem was up in arms till the Honorable Supreme Court said you have no fundamental right to receive foreign money. So that is one aspect of it. One part of those rules curbing NGO was they were having 50% of the money as administrative expenses. What was that administrative expenses? Wine and cheese and all those debates, how the money was being pigeonholed into that, funding a very lavish lifestyle of certain very famous NGO activists. Now coming to USAID. USAID, the ostensible purpose was that they had to increase the voter turnout in India. I will give you two facts. Firstly, India has a better voter participation because we have a federal holiday on that day. And US does not have a federal holiday. When you don't have a holiday, daily wage, a person who needs to earn daily to provide for himself in job and employment cannot take a day off because it is going from his expense. India provided for that. The second aspect, US has a lower voter turnout than India. US 2024 voter turnout was 63.9%. India's voter turnout is 66%. So a country with lower voter turnout is funding money into a country with a higher voter turnout to increase their voter turnout. That is nonsense. That doesn't make sense. So what it makes, it's masking what was the money meant for. And this may be intended money. In previous years, under such various dubious heads, what money has come into India, that needs a thorough investigation by this government. Because I will end by saying this. The entire ecosystem which cried at the NGO norms being curbed, KYC being imposed, 50% administrative expenses going, is the same ecosystem crying on USAID. All they were doing is being an arm of foreign governments and foreign agencies. For national security, we need to investigate and punish all of them.
Iskand Bhandari's massive claim tonight, and I want to bring in Mr. Gawande from the NCP Sharad Pawar unit. Mr. Gawande, this looks like a very, very tough pickle that the ecosystem that opposes Modi finds itself in. And this will lend itself to a lot of talk beyond, of course, the television and its echo chambers in the public domain, because Modi, even before the election, was saying that there was a whole group that was supported by the opposition, or the opposition was inspired by, that used to set the narrative, and the opposition would just borrow from it. Now it turns out that perhaps if Mr. Trump is right, and he's saying it, first of all, let me ask you, what's in it for Trump to expose USAID in India and talk about regime change, number one? And number two, given that Trump says money has come for regime change, would you say that the opposition was part of an exercise to cheat the Indian voter, to steal the mandate?
Rahul, let me start off by saying that matters of national security are not matters for debates on national television.
Oh, really?
I encourage the government, and I've
so
been
why
a
do
very
you talk about, no, hang on, then why does Rahul Gandhi come out in the public domain and talk about China? Talk about, no, one second, you cannot get away tonight. You have to answer my question. All of these homilies are not going to cut, because you can't say that we'll talk about Rafale, we'll talk about China, we'll talk about POK, we'll talk about the territories that were ceded or not ceded to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, etc. All of these are national security issues. But
like I said
when you raise the issue, we should not discuss them. That's ridiculous.
No, Rahul, if the government has proof, this is a very serious allegation, and it should come out with this proof.
No, let me bring out what Mr. Sharad Pawar has been saying.
Give me a second
hang on. No, just a minute. It is Sharad Pawar, your party boss, that came out and said to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, do not make Adani an issue. Did he or did he not? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
Yes. No. Oh, no. Did he not say that it is wrong to target Indian businessmen like Adani? Did he not say it in an interview, sir, to NDTV?
The point was, no opposition leader should be targeting business leaders, and we have a principled stand.
That's it. So he took a different view. He did not support the Adani protest by the Congress party in Parliament, viewers. He also made it very clear
Rahul, that the debate today is not on Adani.
He said that let's not. No, I'm telling you, because the Adani entire ecosystem got activated because OCCRP came out with a story. Who is OCCRP? OCCRP has links to Soros. Soros has links to, according to Mr. Trump and Elon Musk, to USAID. Everyone is funding each other. Everyone's scratching each other's back. And the opposition here conveniently echoes
like I
propaganda.
Said yesterday, allegations must be accompanied by actions.
Okay.
Let me bring to you three tangible things to this debate. The same government that is so against foreign funding changed the Foreign Contribution to Political Parties Act in 2018, an act brought in 2010 under the UPA government to allow foreign funding for political parties. The same government that says we do not take money from foreign governments or foreign sources accepted 588 crores into PM cares, for which there is no accountability today. So I encourage this government to give accountability. That same government took $200 million in aid from USAID during the COVID-19 pandemic. That same government under Prime Minister Modi signed an agreement with the German Chancellor to have a 1.5 billion euro agreement on development aid to India. So let's not firstly get into these semantics about what aid is right and what aid is not. As I said yesterday, the government under Jaswant Singh took a very principled decision not to accept foreign aid. It was carried forward by Manmohan Singh.
The fact is, it's not the government that is making the charge. That is really where
but the government must investigate this
where
charge.
you don't have an answer. It is Trump. It is Trump and his Dodge department that is bringing out this dirt.
Is it not the BJP that is making the charge that this was used for regime change?
No, it's not. It's Trump. They're only
Is it not the
amplifying it, which
BJP
is
that is
within
sitting
their
in
right
power?
to
No,
do.
the BJP released their charge sheet today.
Has Trump not come out? I played the soundbite. You heard it.
No, but I agree with you. Trump has come out and said this.
So the BJP
who
should keep
investigate?
quiet. If
Who
Trump is
sitting in
saying
government?
a sovereign country,
No, we absolutely
sovereign,
must not sit
one
quiet.
second, sir. Please think
No,
about
I
it, because I
demand
asked
a
you. My
joint
first question
parliamentary
was,
session.
what is Trump getting out of it?
No, I demand that the Indian government should ask what Trump is getting out of it. I don't have a direct
Well, this is
contact
very
with Trump.
simple.
Prime
Anyhow,
Minister Narendra
RP
Modi
Singh,
has
a
it.
quick response. Listen, viewers, the problem here is not, and remember, let's just see how this works, because during Bofor's time, again, it was a foreign government that brought out, foreign investigative agency, foreign newspapers that brought out the dirt, and that was dismissed. Today, viewers, someone is taking it seriously, and the person who's taking it seriously is being accused of fakery, which is
But
the
what
BJP.
government was in power during
Trump
Bofor's?
came out.
This government has been in power for 10 years.
Trump came out,
viewers.
viewers.
Like the opposition.
Yeah, fair enough.
How
Trump,
can you ask
Rahul,
questions like this on national television?
what do you mean?
The
Is this
government
not
is
a
asking
democracy?
questions that
Anyhow,
BJP,
RP
which is
Singh has
part
to
of the
respond to you.
government,
I'm not
is
going to
asking
respond.
questions
RP Singh,
and
please
raising
respond.
allegations
Yes.
without providing proof.
They're not providing proof.
Rahul,
They're
can I
looking
come
for
in
it.
No,
for
the
a second?
BJP must substantiate the allegations.
The
They have
BJP is
investigative
looking for it.
agencies
They've
under them.
said they've started an inquiry. Did you not hear
Well,
it?
look forward to
Rahul-
that proof.
Sorry? Sorry?
Mr. Gawande, just hear me for a second, and that will clarify all your doubts. Please, I'll appreciate when you go back home. Please see this complete show again. I started by saying that this need to be inquired. An inquiry is being conducted in this. I never said that. Okay, I never said that money has come to this. Even when I'm saying there's a parallel funding to democracy, human rights, and governance to the Bharat Jodo, I'm saying it need to be inquired. Why the funding spiked up during that period, and where was that money used? There are questions, and questions are not being raised by us. Questions are being raised by the American government.
American government. It is Trump that is. It is Trump and Elon Musk. This is not the BJP. The BJP is amplifying. Why shouldn't it? It's going to take political mileage out of it. Yes,
No,
Ishkar
is the
Bhandari, very
BJP
And
clear.
he's the
Has
same.
Amit
Give me a
Malviya
second.
not
Give me a
said
second.
that
Give me a
Rahul
second.
Gandhi
Rahul,
is
another
acting
second.
against
Rahul, another second.
Yes, yes.
And he's the
Rahul
same
Gandhi
Elon
is
Musk
one thing and Rahul is saying
whom
while
Congress and
Democracy
opposition
means
trusted
nothing on national
on the ballot machines.
Okay, okay.
on the
Same
ballot
Elon Musk
machines
that the
they trusted,
Congress
on the
trusted
EVMs
on the
they said,
ballot machines when he said that EVMs, ballot machines in America are not
Rahul,
conducive for carrying out fair elections. Yes, Ishkar Bhandari, very quickly. Yeah.
Rahul, what is Trump getting out of his is one of the questions the panelists asked. ये तो सुन लिया था इलेक्शन कमीशन बीजेपी का एजेंट है, ईवीएम्स बीजेपी के एजेंट है, सीबीआई बीजेपी का एजेंट है, ईडी बीजेपी का एजेंट है. अब अगर डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प भी बीजेपी का एजेंट है तो I as an Indian will be very proud. I hope it is true, even though we all know what the truth is.
Yeah, well, no one answers that question, viewers. That is really the 2,000 million dollar question. That is what it is, viewers, not the $21 million question. Anyhow, let's move on. Viewers, this has been a fascinating debate.